Things are getting intense. The situation is getting serious. We didn't think it was going to be a declaration of war, but today we're sharing with you how Pakistan and Afghanistan were facing off. You could hear artillery, you could hear some rockets, potentially some bombings, but nothing out of the ordinary. It had happened before, but the people from Pakistan must have seen something. The point is that war is officially declared, this Pakistan Afghanistan thing.
Exactly, they declare an open war. And what started happening in what was the early morning in Pakistan and Afghanistan was intense. It was reported that there were, for example, planes bombing different areas of Afghanistan, something quite impressive. And well, there are already videos where the Taliban, who are from Afghanistan, appear saying yes, that they are facing a country that has nuclear weapons, Afghanistan, ballistic weapons.
And it's the fourth country they faced with nuclear weapons. They have faced France, they have faced Russia, and they have faced the United States Afghans. And this is the fourth country they are facing. Let's say it has nuclear weapons, that it has, strong military forces. The Afghans, maybe they have a lot of economic problems. They are real sons of a gun when it comes to human rights, but they are tough, really tough.
And very tough, exactly. Well, they say that even though Pakistan has all this, they have martyrs, they have people who will do whatever it takes to bring down Pakistan. And as I was telling you, there were bombings in Kabul, a series of attacks also on the border. They just mentioned that about 70 people may have lost their lives. And obviously at the United Nations, Antonio Guterres has already come out to say, speak like civilized people, but I think that's not the audience. But yes, they should speak like civilized people.
And it seems that no, it's not happening. Clearly, it's not happening. Unfortunately, that's how it is. And we'll just look at that. A declaration of war was expected maybe against Iran, the United States, Iran, or Israel, Iran, or something. But look at where the declaration actually comes from. Obviously, this is a topic we'll be talking about right now in the broadcast and later on in the evening broadcast. But since we try to keep everything updated throughout the day, we broadcast what's happening in the world. Those of you who already know the channel, you already know how things work here. We broadcast and try to cover everything that's happening in international news. We're based in northeastern Mexico, and we talk, have conversations, and sometimes we go off topic. We'll try to go out a little more, as we've told you. Peace and blessings to the Lord. Of course, right now it's rush hour. It's that time, the magic hour. It's still daytime, but there's no sun anymore. Let's take a look. Images are starting to come in. We'll show them in the more extended broadcast, and we'll keep talking about this. What have been the results of the dialogues taking place between the United States and Ukraine, by the way, and between the United States and Iran? And all the reactions that are happening on that topic and other important matters as things are being updated, like today, as we mentioned. The pandemic, this plague that is advancing in North Africa, just like about 4 or 5 years ago when there was a similar plague. Yes.
It was really intense, I remember, but was it also in Africa?
No, it was more on the northeastern side, and now it's more on the northwestern side, but let's say it's in a similar area, just more toward the opposite side. In everything,
Morocco has had a lot of rain recently.
In Morocco?
So, that's part of it.
And I don't know if the community has any questions or comments, and we can analyze them as we go. And a huge greeting to those who are watching this later as well. Thank you so much for being here, for joining us.
Says Draco. I already gave it, Hillary. She already spoke.
We already talked about it.
She said that, they asked her very few questions about the topic. In fact, she says they asked her because she was already interviewed. I think Cable News Network, I think it was them. And she said, they asked me about UFOs, they asked me about pizzas, and they asked me about nothing but conspiracy theories. They didn't talk to me about the topic at all, so she was really confused. Now she says that, she didn't know him. Did she have any connection with him? Yes, what was it? Clinton is the one who should really say something, something bigger, right? Because he did go to parties, there are photos, and it's known that he has a reputation for being a womanizer. It's not like it's something that's hidden now.
That's going to be tomorrow. Bill Clinton's hearing is tomorrow, so later we'll summarize Hillary's stuff again with more details. Because she has actually revealed more information outside the hearing than inside the hearing. Because in the hearing, they didn't want to ask her the most relevant questions, or the ones where she could have contributed a bit more. That's also important. Pues importante, ¿no?
Yes, look, here is the interview with Cable News Network where she says that they started asking her about UFOs, about Pizzagate. It's among the vilest and most false conspiracy theories spread online. Well, yes, that's a really crazy thing, but anyway, the point is that tomorrow we'll have more information about this. Let's see what comes out of it.
Let's see what comes out of it. I mean, yes, I think there could especially be surprises with Bill Clinton. That's where there could be some surprises. We'll see. We'll see what happens, what they don't want to answer, and that's what's important right now. It's about where the documents are, the ones the FBI had about an interview with a potential victim of Trump. And, well, up to now, they haven't wanted to reveal this issue. Supposedly, they're going to investigate it. Some Republicans have reacted to this, some Democrats too, but it's not clear if it's going to happen or not. Now, it's an issue that affects too many communities. That's a reality in all political areas. So it's very likely that they're going to want to cover up, they're going to want to hide a lot of what is known. That's also a fact because it really does have direct implications. The problem with some conspiracy theories is that many of them don't have evidence, they don't have an official investigation, and that's where everything gets left out. But in this case, there is an official investigation. It's been going on for several years. There have been people found guilty, and it has even brought down politicians or gotten them into trouble. For example, the Prime Minister of Norway, who is currently in the hospital because he tried to take his own life, supposedly tried to take his own life. That's also quite a detail, pretty shocking. So, what else do we have?
Let's say hello to Aleph. How are you, Aleph? Karim also says it cut off. You can't see it. What do you mean you can't see it? Yes, you can see it. I mean, Karim, I like this live stream. The phone says Aleph. Greetings.
Really great for the people who suddenly say, hey, how are you driving and streaming? Well, just so you know, my hands are on the wheel. Yes, look, there it is, and I'm not holding the phone.
At 2 and at 10, Pepe Leaf, at 2 and at 10.
I'm just talking like I would be talking with Astrid, or like I would be talking with my kids or with a friend, whatever. I mean, basically, it's a conversation we have live, and the one in charge of the broadcast is really Astrid. Now, anyway, I know that a lot of people have liked this kind of broadcast. Yes, I would like it to become more of a segment. I mean, for it to become a breaking news segment. Know that we try to do it a little more often because there really is a lot of information. Sometimes we have to see it when we're out on the street, when we're outside, right? And sometimes we wait until we get home, but well, let's try not to do that. And also to show you a little bit of Monterrey, now that the World Cup is coming, maybe you might be interested in what this city is like. And well,
which city is it? Ask them.
We are in Monterrey,
Nuevo León?
Northeast of Mexico. If you're not from Mexico, just to give you an idea, it's kind of close to Texas, let's say. Actually, it borders Texas. And on the southern side, well, it borders several other states. Among them, there's Tamaulipas, there's also Zacatecas itself. So let's say we have connections with several states. It's a very industrial area. A lot towards technology. Cars are produced here, electric cars. Well, later we'll show you other areas. There are some areas that are very focused on, and there are other areas very much focused on corporate business, o también incluso pues towards what this is. Tourism topics, which are already the museum area and the hotel area and all those kinds of things, right? So, well, we're going to try to show you around. Right now, we're in the southern part near the stadium. By the way, we're near the stadium where the World Cup will be held, which is called BBVA. Look it up on Google. We recently did a broadcast from the stadium. And while we're going to try to step out a little, like they say, get out of your comfort zone, right? Because being in the studio is really nice, but going out also adds something extra, right? Let's see, in this area where we are, we're about to cross a small bridge. And now we're heading toward the southern part of the city, right? That's where we're going now, isn't it? Before we go to the studio for the broadcast and have a long, in-depth conversation, right? We're going to see if we can stop for some popsicles, right? The heat is tremendous, horrible, just horrible. We were at 39 degrees, it didn't reach 40 apparently, but we almost hit 40 degrees and it's still winter. So what's summer going to be like? I have no idea. On the right is the hill, the Silla. Look to the right, there it is.
That's a hill.
For those who don't know Monterrey, it's very iconic. That's the symbol, basically the city of Monterrey, because it supposedly looks like a saddle. No, yeah, it does look like it. That's why it's called that. That's why they call it the Saddle Hill, right? Well, let's see how things turn out in Pakistan. Let's see how it develops, how this whole situation unfolds. Hopefully, things calm down. Obviously, the fact that it's a nuclear country doesn't mean it's going to use its weapons. Let's hope not.
That they show restraint?
That they show restraint in that sense. But also, on the other hand, the Afghans have already been there for some time, especially a specific group that's at the border from Pakistan. They've been claiming certain territories for some time now, saying they're theirs, that they want them, and what do?
Ask if that's the Chupon Hill.
No, that's not Chupon Hill. It's another one nearby in South Monterrey, but this is Cerro de la Sila.
We have a lot of hills here, Dieguito, quite a few. So, well, this is the most famous one.
Exactly, it's the most famous one. Then, well, it could be the Mitras Hill, the Chipinque Hill, the Topo Chico Hill. I mean, there are several. It's a city surrounded by mountains, so, well, each mountain has its own story, its own shape. I mean, for example, here you can do some pretty tough hikes because there isn't much area. You see it a little green, but they're actually small. Yes, they're small trees. There are other hills. If you ever come, Monterrey, which is called Chipinque, is much more walkable because it has trails. It has a lot of trees. In some places, it has restrooms. It has places to eat. I mean, it even has this little store to buy things. Well, it has several, and this one, but you have an incredible view of Monterrey. Let's see if we go one of these days. We take a walk. The route is a bit long, so, well, yeah, we have to, yeah.
That's why they say that when people from Monterrey get dumped by their girlfriends, they start climbing hills. Yes, that's true. It's true. I hadn't thought about it, but yes, it's true. It's true. So Aleph says here, I was reading about that. It says geography and climate. It's encircled by mountains, with Cerro de las Silas as its iconic symbol. The climate is extreme, with very hot summers and cold winters.
Yes, exactly. That's Monterrey. Very, very extreme. There's always a joke here, very typical, that says if you don't like the weather in Monterrey, come back in 5 minutes because the weather is constantly changing. But I mean, it's also an exaggeration.
That one?
The joke, right? But this.
And the weather, one day cold, the next hot. And so.
Here in this area, it's a residential area, right? There are many houses and businesses here. But the interesting thing about living near the hills is that it's usually cool. I mean, there's a breeze. It's really nice. So do people, everyone or many, right? Do they try to get closer to the hills? That's why, because it's a little cooler and you have a good view and things like that, right?
Greetings to Veronica. And according to us, the city looks beautiful, beautiful Mexico. Greetings, Veronica.
Greetings, Veronica. How have you been? Very good.
Tomorrow we'll give you Oak.
Greetings, Robel. Tomorrow we'll give you another tour in another area. Yes, in the afternoon as well. And, well, we keep talking.
See you in a little while. Okay, remember that we'll be there around, what time will it be? 8:30?
8:30, 9. We'll already be broadcasting, so you can stay tuned with the summary of all the information. Greetings, Robel, all the way to Cuba, Spain, and the United States. Thank you. Take care. See you later.
See you later.